We're having a little bit of technical difficulties, so I am going to ask to approve the agenda again as amended.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Public comment? None. 6 is approval of the consent agenda. Take a motion to approve, please.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Number 7 is approval of the resolution calendar. I do want to state that the 2 bid sheets showing the specifications I put in front of you, they were supposed to be attached to the resolution, but it didn't quite make it. And they're on front and back. Huh? Oh, and the resi bills are amended by removing,
Adding in a vendor that was left off the report, but the totals are the same.
the totals are the same, but the vendor wasn't on there. Utility equipment? Yeah. It was in the totals, but it wasn't, the invoice wasn't actually on the resi bills. So
Motion
the
to
resi
approve.
bills is amended.
Motion to approve is amended.
Second.
Roll call.
Morris,
Yes.
Weir,
Yes.
Clements.
Yes.
Number 8 is public hearing FY25 budget amendment. Consider the public hearing open. If there's no comments,
A publication is on file and no comments were received.
we will close the public hearing. We'll go down to resolution 6962 on number 9, approving the FY25 budget amendment.
Make a motion to approve.
Okay,
Second.
roll call, please.
Morris,
Yes.
Weir,
Yes.
Clements.
Yes.
Number 10, resolution 6963, awarding general obligation corporate purpose bonds, series 2025. Maggie is here with us tonight, and she did hand out
Yes,
what was received for bids.
wonderful. Thank you very much for having me. Maggie Berger with Spear Financial. In front of you, you've got a letter that we did take bids this morning on $4,485,000 of general obligation corporate purpose bonds, Series 2025. This probably wraps up some of your big bond issues for a while. Oh, yeah. So, but this is getting some additional projects that we just weren't ready to finance a year and a half ago when we did your other financing. We wanted to make sure that we had bids in hand, we had actually better viable numbers than just our estimates at that time. We are recommending that you would award to BOK Financial Securities out of Milwaukee, Wisconsin. They are giving you a true interest rate of 3.9372%, and they are giving you a very small premium. And so premium dollars can be used towards the project itself, or they could be stuck into the debt service fund so that you could repay the bonds or repay a portion of those. They're only giving you about $20,000 in a premium. But again, what that is doing is they're providing 4% interest rates all the way down. So every maturity in the debt schedule has a 4% interest rate. And by them giving you that money ahead, that's buying that interest rate down below that 4% mark at that 3.93. We did have 5 bids today, and as you can see, they're pretty close, from a 3.93 up to the high bid of 4.10. These are very regular bidders that we see when you have audited financials and you have an audit, and you have a rating. So this year we had to go out just due to size and have a Moody's rating. That is following then on the next pages and a few pages because they make all their documents very large. The city was reaffirmed at the A2 rating. That's the rating that you had a couple of years ago or 18 months ago when we sold bonds. The one thing I want to point out is your administration did a fantastic job. We do a 1-hour phone call with the folks from Moody's, and your administration is set to answer a whole lot of questions. They're talking demographics, they're talking the economics of the city, they're talking flexibility, they're talking financials of the city, where the city thinks things will go in the future, stuff like that. So hats off again. We do a little highlighting in here, but really it talks about how strong your reserve funds are. So Moody's and other rating agencies like there to be cash. They like you to have reserves, although others, around the state may say you have too many reserves. Moody's and them like you to have cash reserves just in case there's a time when revenues would not come in, knowing they're gonna come in, but they may not come in right away as anticipated. There may be a delay in the system. They also talk about how you have a strong institutional framework, meaning that you're getting reports on a regular basis, that you as the council are reviewing things, just like tonight's budget amendment and stuff like that. And so that's very important to them, that you guys are in the know on what is going on. The second to the last page of our packet does outline that all of the bidders bid that 4% interest rate all the way down. And it really was won by how much of a premium or what a discount was that they were going to take out of the deal. That really is the dividing factor in this, is if they gave you a little bit more premium, that brought that interest rate down just a little bit further than the next firm. I want to point out at the top, you have an underlying rating of an A2 from Moody's. The winning bidder, BOK, did purchase insurance. That is not at your cost, that is at their cost. So they bought the insurance, and really the insurance policy is just an insurance policy that you're going to make your payments every year. That is for them. For them, it's important because when they buy the insurance, Build America Mutual, the insurance company, is carrying a AA rating with S&P, which is a higher rating than yours. So then all of a sudden, you have this insured rating, which is higher than yours, and it turns out it's easier for them to resell in the market to other investors, because they'll be the one that buys the $4 million, but they'll turn around and sell it to banks, insurance companies, mutual fund companies, individual investors, and those individual and all those other groups, they want to know that there's maybe a little bit higher rating. So we typically see, if you're in the single A category, we typically see the insurance being qualified, and whether or not that underwriter buys the insurance is up to them. So it's no cost to you. It really doesn't have any effect on you. It's just there as an added policy that gets them a higher rating. So the final debt service schedule is on the back of that packet. These bonds are callable after June 1st of 2032. So if at that time or any time after that, interest rates are lower, you would be able to possibly refinance and save some money. If interest rates were higher, you would just continue to pay on your debt. But that's also the time that if you had money ahead, and even not even the whole of the amount that remains, but in part, you could call some debt in, you could redeem some debt if there was money ahead. Typically, we have you redeem from the bottom up, because obviously it's out there the longest, accrues the most interest. So with that, I'd answer any questions that you have, but we would recommend that you pass the resolution tonight awarding to BOK Financial Securities.
Any questions, council?
I don't. I think
Take a
that was
motion to
very well
approve Resolution 6963. Sorry, Adam.
done. I
Thank
was
you,
just
Megan.
saying, I thought that was very well done, and I would
Yeah.
make said motion.
Oh, okay.
Second. We're going to have to raise our hand or something.
Now.
Enough.
Did you get it?
I did.
Okay, roll call, please.
Morris,
Yes.
Weir,
Yes.
Smock, not Smock, Clements.
Yes.
Hey, Justin.
Thank you very much, everyone.
Yeah,
Thank
thanks,
you.
Maggie. Yeah, she's on to another meeting.
I am at 7 o'clock Zoom, so I'll be pulling off the road to take that
Be
one.
careful.
So, thanks so much.
Take care, thank you. Number 11, Resolution 6964, approving right-of-way agreement with Arion for the installation of 2,391 linear feet of fiber. And that's going to be to HUP, which is located at 888 Doris Drive.
I move passage of Resolution 6964.
Second.
And that's a roll call, please.
Morris,
Yes.
Weir,
Yes.
Clements.
Yes.
Sorry. 12 is request from Sergeant Newman to approve training with Iowa Law Enforcement Academy in the amount not to exceed 3,000. We amended that earlier. I have no idea.
We caught your little tip there.
Yeah.
I would make a motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? 13, request to approve the placement of surge protectors throughout the wastewater treatment plant in the amount of $15,900.90 with Woodruff Construction. As you see, I did get another quote for that. I guess I felt it should have been part of the project
That's what I was wondering too.
all along.
Yeah.
And I questioned that in a second. I questioned that, and, you know, it was kind of like, well, we didn't really think of it. And I was like, well, you're putting in, you know, $9.8 million minus the cost of the buildings and such of equipment. So I was really surprised, but I guess they didn't anticipate having the surges like they have. And Mike has had surges. Matter of fact, it's under warranty, but it wiped out one of our HVAC systems down at the plant. So this is a good investment for the city. It was just unfortunate that it wasn't included in the original project.
Do we have money in contingencies to cover this?
I don't,
After the asphalt.
I think there was some, but I don't think so. We're gonna probably use it out of reserves for wastewater, which we're sitting very well at, so. Yes, we are.
If at the end of the project, there is still money in contingencies, does that just go into the general fund?
I don't believe there is any money in contingencies after doing the asphalt portion of it. And then we did those little teeny things with wrapping, doing the insulation on the wrap, and that was pretty much used in our contingencies. But we're actually gonna pull this out of the project and pay it through reserves of the wastewater.
Sounds like we have to do it.
Well,
Well,
it'd be
either
in our
that or-
best interest, because once the warranties are gone, I did, reach out to Jeremy Sorensen he's our Mid-American rep, and it's not unusual, because most of your businesses are on one circuit. So, he said, it's a hard place for him to be in, because when this happened, when surges happen, or John Deere is down, not necessarily John Deere, but one of the larger manufacturers in our area are down for 6 hours because of a surge. But it does happen. We do get electrical surges.
Well, to say
That-
nothing of it frying your equipment.
Yeah, well, when you have, what do we have in those VFDs? Are they VFDs? Like,
Yeah, there's a lot of.
Millions.
Electrical and electronics. So
Oh, yeah.
You've got the UV system
In
and
the-
the blowers.
in the SCADA system and the list just goes on.
Investment in that plant that would be protected with this, yes.
Yeah.
So then, like a power strip, I mean, when you get a surge, do those surge protectors then need to be replaced?
No, not typically.
Okay.
It depends, but I think normally they're just reset. It's like a
Okay.
regular surge protector.
Any idea of longevity?
Should be decades.
That's
We probably won't be around that long.
not bad. Well, I mean, electrical stuff, you
No,
just
I
don't
get it.
know.
Yeah, they don't really get used enough to wear out quickly.
Okay. Well, I think it's kind of a no-brainer then.
I'll take a motion to approve.
I move approval of the surge protector quote to Woodruff Construction in the amount of $15,900.90.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Number 14, request to approve amendment with Terracon in the amount of $9,006.25 for the Lafayette Road project. Terracon is doing all of our testing. We have a project manager on the project, but it wasn't in the original contract to do the asphalt testing. And according to our project manager and engineer, that's a must because the DOT has a watchful eye over all that as well.
Did we have an amended agenda?
Yeah,
What number was it?
it was 14. Does your agenda say amended? You got an amended one.
Okay, I didn't,
I amended it yesterday about 2 in the afternoon.
I got the one from Monday morning.
Yeah, it was not amended yet.
Yeah, so yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, the agenda was amended about 2 o'clock yesterday afternoon. Anyway, the asphalt is a big thing that needs to be tested as well. And that was never put in the original agreement with Terracon, because Terracon's been doing all of our concrete testing for the Lafayette project. Do you want to see it?
You said the amount, but I,
9,006.
thank you.
Yeah.
And this is just gonna be part of the Lafayette project
This is a
budget,
part of
correct?
the Lafayette Road project, yes.
Okay.
No,
I'd
take-
make a motion to approve.
Thank you.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ordinance 707 is amending provisions to commercial sewer rates, the first reading. This is just to get us through the July 1st. You know, we'll have to have it approved just to kind of offset the commercial sewer rates that is based on the water. Right now, it sits at 150%. We will be working with, partnering with People Service to get an actual cost per thousand. So we'll better be able to bill for this moving forward. But for now, you know, we just need to adjust it. Otherwise, it's gonna quadruple as far as the sewer cost at the 150%. And that's based on the water usage. So like your high users that are using over 100,000 gallons, that's who it's really gonna hit the hardest of all, so. We get this in place, and then when we start working with People Service, I've already reached out to Mike on that. We'll go from there.
Okay.
I move passage of ordinance 707 on its first reading.
I'll second.
Roll call, please.
Morris,
Yes.
Weir,
Yes.
Clements.
Yes,
Number 16, council to consider Wilkin Road. I was approached a couple times by Mr. Breskern that has that land behind Lafayette to the north. And there's some wetlands back in there, whatever. He originally asked us to, as part of the Lafayette project, he wanted to put a, one of those concrete passageways. I can't think what they're called right now. Culvert, thank you. I was drawing a blank. He wanted us to put a culvert, or he was gonna pay for it or whatever, so he could get back into this land, cause he plans on developing it in the future. And I said that wasn't gonna be possible. I hooked up his surveyor and engineering service with our engineer, because it's a delineated, set-aside DNR wetland. So for what we did to it across from the OP, that was it. There wasn't nothing else that we could do in that area. Where, you know, we wanted to have it part of the Lafayette project all along. And, you know, we actually had to go to the DNR, and there's several levels to, once you get in, and delineated as a boundary, it's set aside for wetlands. So, since he wasn't, it didn't appear that he was gonna gain access from Lafayette, they're still talking about it, just so you know. He wanted to know if the city would allow him access on Wilkin Road. Now, as you've seen in your packet, in 1975, when Mr. William P. Evans developed that street, Saunders, he put Wilcom Road on the top. Just a chunk of nothingness.
Name only.
Yeah, name only. And it's never been a road. It's never been a road.
Yeah, I used to ride my bike down at the end of that, and that's dead end. That's
It's
not a
never
road.
been, it never, the developer never developed it. And I, of course, council, it is your decision, but I don't believe we're in the, I don't believe we want to develop it either. I mean, it was up to the developer at that time to develop that road. That was part of his development. We approved that plat, per se. As a council, we would have back in 75. And, if he wanted to put that roadway in, that was up to him. But I don't think we have any interest of putting a roadway in. But that's up to you guys.
Now, does he have access from his residence area? Did we
He could
say?
come in, yes.
So it's not like
he
it's
could-
landlocked?
No. Yeah, he could come in behind Sheets. It goes back out there all the way to his field. So he does have access that way. I mean,
Is
Is
he
it-
just wanting to, or thinking of developing that stretch just west of Saunders before the wetlands?
yes.
So at this point, who owns that land that is labeled Wilkin Road but is not actually a road?
It is the city,
The cities, okay.
yeah.
Doesn't feel like that's a good use of city's money.
I'm actually somewhat surprised it's never been vacated, to be honest with you. Because, you would actually have to vacate it, because even though it never existed,
Yeah, the easement would have to be released, basically, or
yeah.
the right of way, or
I
whatever
mean,
you
I-
wanna call it.
I guess another option is let him buy it?
I was just gonna say, he is a developer, if he wanted to put the road in to his property,
At his
that
expense.
would probably be an option to offer him.
Yeah, that'd be a way of us not standing in the way, but we're also not gonna foot the bill.
Right, exactly.
It would only serve essentially his needs in the immediate. I don't know what his development thoughts are, but
Right,
it just wouldn't serve the people.
right,
But any way I can see.
yeah.
Not that they aren't important too and shouldn't have access, but I'm sure they're going to have access, and
Yeah.
or at least for the Lafayette project anyway.
Would you guys entertain doing a closed session at our next meeting to discuss this and to discuss what we would even sell it for?
Sure.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. I just take a motion to move forward with consideration.
Make a motion to table this for now and consider it at our next meeting.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Yeah, just kind of a weird situation. Anyway, mayor and council reports, just a couple things that are coming up. We have our second annual Party in the Park. That's gonna be at Angels Park. It's from, we're gonna have transportation from the Community Response Center to the park, starting at 5:00 PM. The Party in the Park will go from 6 to 9. We have Bringing in the Chai, they're gonna be there, if you guys would like anything to eat. It's bring a blanket, bring lawn chairs, bring your own beverages. Metronet is also gonna be there. And they are sponsoring Pepe's ice cream truck, for treats for the kids. I thought that was pretty cool.
Kids of all ages.
What was the name of the band?
And the band's name is Dry Run Creek, which is, has been sponsored by the John Martis family. So I thought it was pretty cool. We'd been talking about it, and he said, I'd like to sponsor the band. And I'm like, okay, we'll do our second annual party in the park. Also, that weekend is garage sales. Get in here early, before the 23rd, if you would like to be on the garage sale map. We have our engineer actually put all the dots on the map, and those maps will be able to be released, is it the 28th? I think it is the 28th, that Wednesday, just before the garage sales. The following weekend, we have cleanup. Just before the cleanup, though, that Thursday afternoon from 4 to 6, in the back parking lot at City Hall, is going to be, we're going to have the shred master again. So bring your junk mail or whatever things you don't like to throw in the garbage to go into the landfill. Bring that on down and have that done for free. Again, that's from 4 to 6 on the 29th, right? Yeah.
Yes.
No, I'm sorry, the 5th of June. I'm getting the dates mixed up. There's so many. So what happens when things start coming, it gets summer. It's June 5th, I'm sorry, Thursday, June 5th, from 4 to 6. And then, of course, the cleanup is gonna be Friday and Saturday, June 6th and 7th. 8 to 4 on, Friday, and 7 to noon on Saturday. There was something else. Council, do you have anything?
I just wanted to give a big thank you to the street department for all the street line painting they have been doing. It just looks very bright and the town looks attractive again.
Yeah. They have been cleaning the streets too. I think they had a little bit of issue this week with their street sweeper, but I think that was able to be repaired.
And the baskets were put up this week,
Yep, and banners, right?
and the wind started blowing that afternoon, and it hasn't stopped yet.
They look great though.
They want to
Yeah.
put the banners up, but they can't when it's so windy.
Oh, right. Okay. I hadn't had a chance to talk to Chris on it. Anything else? I'll take a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?